Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Dr. Drew. Obviously, I'm not a doctor, but it's a spoof an ex-girlfriend gave me. I like to help people. I was in anatomy school years ago for massage therapy. That's my career by trade. And so, anyways, that's where kind of that comes from. I can talk about that more later. But anyways, today I wanted to talk about again, I like talking about nature, right? Nature's perfect, right? And men and women have, we're all out of pocket right now. That's why this thing's all convoluted. That's why relationships are so messed up. That's why all of our interactions with each other are messed up right now, is because women are actually very much going along with their nature. Men right now are not. Today are not men. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just calling it for what it is. What is it to be a man? For me, that's taking care of yourself, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Those four things are those four things are the basis of a man. And life for men is all about balance. And if any one of those four things are out of balance, then you're gonna be living pretty rough in life, and you're not gonna be having a good time. Everything stems from those four things. As long as you have balance within all those four things, then you're being a man. You're taking care of your stuff, And part of being a man isn't focusing on women and relationships. That women are just a byproduct of us being balanced, and having a woman in love with us is again a byproduct of us being balanced internally. See, everything in our lives, and this goes for women too, but for men especially, I can't speak for women's experience because I'm not a woman. I have no idea what it's like to be a woman, and I'm not going to say that I do. I know about them, but I don't know I don't live my life as one, and I don't know how to feel like one. That's not my biology and not my makeup. That I didn't get to choose, my gender here. I just honor what I was born as, because that's the truth and that's who I was born to be. And okay, well, this is what I was given, so that's what I'm going to take, and I'm going to honor that. So, anyways, part of being a man is taking care of yourself. Everything that we do, our body. Our external worlds, all of our external worlds, our body, our physical body, our lifestyle, where we live, our homes, our cars, our relationships with others, our work, our finances, all of that stuff is a reflection. Our outer world is a reflection of our inner world, right? And if you don't have the inner world taken care of, then the exterior world is going to be a mess, right? So if you don't have what you want in the exterior world, it's because your mind and your emotions aren't reflecting what you want, and you need to change the interior world before you can change the exterior world. See, everything out here is a reflection, so you have to change your thoughts in order to change your beliefs, in order to change your life, right? Everything comes from our beliefs, okay? And we can choose to believe anything. That's our choice in life. But just because we choose to believe it doesn't make it so, right? And that's kind of where the alphabet community is going wrong there. And I feel for them. No hate towards them. They have lost who they are. They're lost and broken mentally and emotionally. Why? I don't know. That's not my problem. That's not my experience. But they've got to take care of themselves mentally and emotionally, and they're not. They're looking at everybody else to walk on eggshells around them. And isn't that like what narcissists want? Right? I mean, I don't want to use that word or throw it around because, whatever. I think that's a cop-out word because people don't understand each other. Men don't understand women, and women don't understand men. Well, maybe I think women do understand men, actually. But anyways, part of being a man is taking care of yourself and taking care of your mind, body, spirit, and your emotions. And excuse me, this is my buddy Blaze, my best boy. Hey, buddy, say hello to everybody. Yeah. We have to take care of those four things. If any one of those are out of balance, then we're all out of balance, and we're not going to live a happy life. Now, like I said, women are a byproduct of that, and everybody says, oh, well, women are attracted to, six-figure income, six-pack abs, and being 6 feet tall. Yes, but those, again, are all byproducts of you being balanced, except for the 6 feet tall part. A man's height, that's just a cop-out for men that don't understand what women are attracted to. See, attraction is not a choice. Women are either attracted to you or they're not. And you as a man control if they're attracted to you or not. And see, that's what men don't understand, and why men are pointing the finger at women right now. And why women are pointing the finger back at men, because women understand this. Women are not going against their nature. It's men that are going against our nature. See, women by nature, like I talk about this all the time, they are manipulative. They want to manipulate us to get their way. And they've had so much practice and so much experience and so much deceit and deception that they have drilled that, hardwired that into men for so long. And it's us as men, we've lost who we are. And so women know this, they understand it, but men think, oh, we're being men, it's just women aren't being women anymore. Well, yes and no. Women aren't being women anymore because, well, men aren't being men. It's a reciprocal thing, right? See, a woman, again, attraction is not a choice. And if a woman doesn't feel attracted to you because you're being a bee, you're being weak, that's your fault, not hers. She's just being her, right? See, men aren't being men. And men don't know who they are. Men have not explored their confidence. You guys have no idea how powerful you are as men. But that all comes from self-awareness and from internal self-control and from understanding the dichotomy between men and women and how we operate and what their whole mating strategy is versus our whole mating strategy. And when I say mating strategy, it's just what we're biologically hardwired to do. We can't engineer that out of people, okay? Now, men naturally want to sleep with multiple women, and women naturally want to manipulate men to get us to go against that, against our nature. Do you see? So their whole goal is to get us to go against our nature. So us as men, we have to protect ourselves from that. Self-preservation, right? I understand wanting to have a relationship and all that stuff, but why? Have you ever asked yourself why you want a relationship? And ask yourself this question as a man: do you really want a relationship, or do you just want to get laid? Right? Because if you can get laid, why do you want a relationship? If you can attract women, and you know that you can attract women, why do you? Again, relationships just come because of that. It's a byproduct of that, right? So if you're not attracting women, if you're not getting laid, that's because of you as a man. That's not because of women. That's not because women aren't being women. That's such a cop-out, and that's exactly from man boys who don't understand who they are or what they're intended to do. And that's been lost because society has been so manipulated by women for so long that we've just lost who we are as men. And no fault. I'm not harping on them whatsoever. I actually agree somewhat with feminism, or at least what it started as. Now it's just turned into a man-bashing thing, which, again, I can still kind of understand. But they're harping. They don't want to be controlled, right? See, women don't want to be controlled, just as us as men, we don't want to be controlled. And when men are insecure and don't know who we are, we try to hold on to women, right? Because we're scared of losing them. We're in that scarcity mindset, that lack mindset. So we try to hold on. And by holding on and controlling them, we actually lose them. Do you see what I mean? Whereas if we were just to let them go and just be like, all right, see you later. No, that's freedom. You're giving them the choice to come to you or to go. And that's what love is freedom to choose, right? And that's what men have not, it's what's lost on men is they don't know how to attract women. And because you don't know how to attract women, you're not getting any attention from them, and you're not happy, right? But attracting women all starts with you internally as a man, and it doesn't start anywhere else. So if you don't have yourself taken care of or balanced or understand these things, it doesn't matter whether you find a good woman or not that loves you. You're gonna mess it up. I guarantee you. And I guarantee any woman watching this is going to agree with me. I guarantee every single one will. And because I understand. And that's what I'm trying to get through to you guys, is that attraction is not a choice. And you have to focus on being your best self as a man in order to attract women. That doesn't mean focus on your best self and ignore them because MGTOW or they're manipulative or whatever. No, you just focus on yourself, because that's what we're supposed to do in this life, because nobody's looking out for you but you, right? Like I don't mean to be pessimistic, but I'm a realist. Nobody's coming to save me but me, right? And nobody's coming to save you but you. Okay? Nobody cares about you. Okay? Well, I do, because I'm trying to share this information so that you can make better choices. And but attraction is not a choice, and it all starts internally with us. And if we're not being our best self, if we're not being balanced, we don't attract women, period. And that's just the way that it goes. It does not work any other way. You can point the finger at them and say, oh, they're this and they're that and blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. Again, that finger you're pointing, there's three pointing right back at you, okay? Attraction is not a choice. Women either feel it for you because you've done the work on yourself and you're balanced, healthy, whole, and happy, or they don't feel it from you, and that's when they label you a creep. It has nothing to do with your looks or your money status or your social status or anything like that. I guarantee you guys, it all has to do with your energy from within. I promise you. And men don't understand that because men aren't balanced energetically or emotionally. Well, emotions are energy, so yes, energetically. If you don't understand that, emotions are energy. Energy in motion, emotion, energy in motion. Us as humans, we are conduits of energy, just like electricity, just like a piece of copper wire, right? We are a piece of copper wire. We are conduits of energy. We allow emotion to flow through us. And what happens is when we have an emotion come through us, but then we hold on to it, like anger or sadness or whatever it is, that's when we become miserable, because we're holding on to that and holding on to the meaning of it instead of just honoring it, saying, yep, I feel this way, okay, let's just let it go. We don't let it go. Most people don't let it go. They hang on to that, and where focus goes, energy flows. So energy is supposed to constantly always be flowing. So emotions are constantly supposed to be flowing, right? We're humans. We're going to have emotion. Men, we're going to have emotion, but the difference between men and women is that women are allowed to act on their emotion. That their whole decision-making process is based on their emotions. Men, our whole decision-making process is based on our brains, and that's okay. We're different, but we have to control our emotions because that's what we do as men. We understand that making decisions emotionally is not good for us in the long run. They don't think about the long run. They think about right now, and they have to think about right now. We can outlast them if something was to happen. So men always think long term. But most of us anyways. So getting back to energy, they can sense our energy just by us talking to them. And hell, even women watching this can pick up on my energy, right? And that's okay. I understand that, but you guys as men need to understand that, and you need to get your energy balanced, is what I'm saying. You need to get your interior balanced. And men today don't have their interior balanced because they've been so indoctrinated by women to be emotional, and that's against our nature as men. So men are going against our nature. Women are not going against their nature. Women are their whole nature is to get us to go against ours. That's to deceive. That's to seduce. See, women are like pirates, right? They are out to gather resources. Men, we build and acquire and we build resources and all that. Women, they come and steal our resources, basically. They come and acquire them from us. And that's why we call them succubuses, right? They suck the soul out of us, they suck the love out of us, they suck the money from us, they suck the assets from us. Do you see what I mean? So that's their nature. You have to understand that and be okay with it. You can't demonize them for being their natural selves. But ladies, you also can't demonize men for being our natural selves. And that's what men have gone against. And that's what men have been manipulated to go against, is our natural selves. And I think we all as men need to get back to that. And it's hard when we have women in our ears trying to seduce us against our nature. That's why it's so important to protect ourselves and to protect our peace and to protect our space and to protect all that stuff, because honestly, I don't believe that monogamy is natural. If monogamy was natural, why do we want to procreate and sleep with a bunch of women? If monogamy was natural, we would want to just find one woman and then just leave other women alone. But we don't. We find a woman and we still look at it and are attracted to other women, because that's hardwired in us, right? And because we want to spread our seed naturally. It is what it is. I wish that it wasn't that way, but well, I don't, because then I'd be going against my nature. But it is what it is. And I'm not going to suppress who I am as a man for any woman ever. Okay? What does that mean? I'm not going to castrate myself and go against my nature for the happiness of a woman. It is not my duty or responsibility as someone living my own life to be miserable for someone else, including a woman. And if she expects me to do so, or even expects you to do so, she actually doesn't love you. Okay? She's wanting to use you and manipulate you. And that's how you can tell. Love is freedom. True love, genuine love from within, is giving people freedom to choose. It's all about desire. Attraction is all about desire. Men, we have to make women desire us, right? We have to. That's how attraction works. And that's why women are complaining about men aren't men anymore, because we're not making them desire us. Because we're not, well, speak for y'all, so I'm not speaking for me, but I'm speaking for a lot of people. Men aren't being desirable. You guys are sitting in your mom's basement, eating Cheetos, freaking drinking Dr. Peppers. You're not active. You hate your jobs. You're freaking miserable people. You're not balanced, right? Your finances aren't in order. Your mind isn't in order. Your emotions aren't in order. You have no idea what you're doing. You have no idea where you're going in life, what you want, or anything like that. And if you do, then good on you. But most men don't. Most men aren't men. They're man boys, is what I like to call them. They're in physical male bodies, yes, but they're not men. They're boys, like immature boys, mentally and emotionally trapped in men's bodies. And that's why I call them man boys. But the same thing can be said of women. Women are freaking childish ladies too, man. Oh my goodness. But that's a whole nother topic. We're talking about men right now. So men are going against our nature. We're not being most men are not being who they are intended to be. And most women aren't Most women just have no idea what they're doing because they're following us guys, right? So they're confused because men are supposed to be the leaders, right? But we're not leading. Well, a lot of men aren't leading. I'm trying to lead. That's why I'm trying to put this video out and try to get this information out, because I want society to get back to what it is naturally supposed to be. We live in such a corrupt place that just is so manipulated. Society is so manipulated and indoctrinated, and it's so deep, and it's so just wrong, and you can see it everywhere. You can see it in I can see it in everybody almost that I come into contact with. And what I was saying earlier is I'm a massage therapist by trade. I work on a lot of chronic pain management, injury rehabilitation, surgery rehabilitation, sports massage. I'm an athlete myself. I play a lot of hockey, hence my tooth. Just back in December, I took a puck to the face from the blue line and broke both my upper and lower jaws in 3 places. Knocked this tooth out, hit this one and the other one up flat up into the roof of my mouth, jostled these loose. I had to have surgery and my mouth wired shut for about 2 months. But I talk to, in my massage therapy stuff, I talk to women all the time, man. That's why I'm good with women, because I understand them. I talk to them all the time, and I love talking to them, and they love talking to me. My clients love the shit out of me, and some of them are probably watching this, and hopefully, and we've talked, and they've encouraged me to start this stuff, and I know what I'm talking about. And I'm not trying to sound arrogant or anything, because I'm not. I'm extremely humble. I'm not anybody special in life. I mean, I just have life figured out. I like to think, anyways. I'm a pretty happy dude, man. I don't want for anything. I get attention from tons of women. I attract beautiful women. I know that I do. I get attention from them all the time. But just because you get attention from attractive women doesn't mean you have a connection and want to sleep with them. See, I don't think men have really experienced a woman that is genuinely interested in him. And like, maybe you all have, but I mean genuinely, like, feels it in her gut, like she is. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, most men don't know how to make a woman fall in love with them. You guys have no idea, man. I'm serious. Like, most men, any man I ask, like, I always like to ask this question talking to people. It's like, hey, how do you make a woman fall in love with you? And the answers are just, hey, no, Blaze, get off that. The answers are always just ridiculous, man. And because I know how to. I don't try to. I just do, because I'm being a man. I don't pursue women like that. I'm not interested in relationship, like commitment anyways, because that's against my nature. I want men to get back to nature, but they pursue me. I've always felt wrong pursuing women in life, even though I did it in my younger days. It just always felt wrong to me, and I understand why now, and I have for a long time now, but it's not hard to attract women when you're being a man and you're focused on being your best self as a man. And that's what I'm trying to say, gentlemen, is that you need to focus on being your best self, and don't worry about relationships or women, but don't hate on them either, because they're being their natural self. They're being manipulative. They're trying to get us to go against our nature. They want us. Why do you think they push for relationships all the time? Why is it? No, I'm serious. This is a genuine question. Why do you think women push for relationships all the time? Because they're trying to get us to go against our nature of sleeping with a bunch of women. Like, unfortunately, well, not even unfortunately, it just is what it is. Us as men, we have a drive to go procreate. We have a drive to go sleep with women, multiple women. It doesn't matter if we find a good woman or not. We're still attracted to other women, and we still want to go sleep with them. Unless we are seduced and manipulated by the one that we're currently with. Do you see how that works? That's what women want to do. They want to find a guy that's strong. Right? Their whole goal is they want to find the strongest male, okay? But then they also want to make sure that he's the strongest male out of all of them. And how do they do that? They test us. They test our strength. They throw out innocuous comments, or they tell us certain things, or they do certain things to get us to get off balance emotionally and mentally, and to see how weak we are when it comes to our emotions and our resolve, right? That's their whole goal. They want to know if they can push us off our path as men. And that's the one that they want to mate with, one they can't push off that path, right? That's the one they want to sleep with. So all of you men, obviously you've been with women before, right? You were doing that. You were on your path and weren't worried about women when you got with one usually. You got with any of them. You weren't worried about it. You were being your best self. You were happy, healthy, whole, collected. You were balanced in life. You didn't know that you were balanced, but you were balanced in life. You weren't worried about it, and you attract women that way. That's how attraction works. It's not a choice. You're being your best self when you're not. See, when we're worried about getting laid, we're not being our best self because we're worried about them, right? We're not balanced. When we're focused on ourselves and being our best selves, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, then we always attract them. See, the whole six-pack abs and all that, that's just and six-figure income, that's just a byproduct of being balanced. That's why so many guys think that it's six-pack abs and the six-figure income that attracts women, but it's not those things particularly, it's what those things represent, right? Those things represent a man being balanced, okay? And most men are not balanced right now. Most men have no idea what they're doing. Why? Because they were raised in single mother homes or with very, very manipulative mothers or weak fathers, and probably a combination of both. Why? Because for too long we're all going against our nature. Men aren't being men. Men aren't standing up against women and saying, no, you're not going to fucking manipulate me. You're not going to do this. You're not going to do that. And why? Because men are so desperate to get laid because they're insecure about who they are because they don't get laid. So you see how it's like a hamster wheel that men don't know how to get off of, but it's all men's fault. It is your fault that you're not balanced as a man. Like, it doesn't matter how you grew up. It doesn't matter if you have trauma. It doesn't matter if you were abused as a kid. It doesn't matter any of that. What matters is right now, not what happened in the past and not what's going on in the future. What matters right now in life is this instant. You know, the past is the past. You can't go back there. The future hasn't yet happened yet, so what are you worried about it for? Just focus on right now. Like I said, where focus goes, energy flows. So if you're focused on the past, that's where your energy is going to the past, and you're going to be depressed. That's depression, right? Now, your focus going on in the future, well, that's anxiety. Again, your energy's going that way. You're going to be anxious about the future. Do you see what I'm saying? Life is about balance. Let's all be present. This way emotionally and this way mentally, right? So that's what men need to be, is we need to be balanced, centered. And attracting women is all about a man being centered and balanced. He's not worried about those things. He's being his best self. He's calm, he's cool, he's collected, he's got his emotions in check, he's intelligent, he's got his finances in order, he's got his body in order. He's got his home in order. He can take care of himself. He can take care of others, and he's happy, whole, calm, and collected. I mean, I said those things already, but you get my drift. Those things naturally attract women because we're being a strong male, and they, like I said, their whole goal is to meet a strong male like that, a balanced male, and they want to test us to see if we're that strong male that they think we are. And that's what they do naturally. They might not even know that they do it. Some might, and if they do, well, I think that's kind of messed up, but I understand why they do it. Again, they want to test us to see what we're made of, who we really are. And so we have to understand that as men, and we have to not allow that to deter us. Like, I had one of my lady friends over here this past weekend, and we were sitting around chatting and blah 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 blah, and she, we were all joking around, and I made some comment or something, you know, made some joke, and she goes, "Oh, I can't believe you make me feel that way." And I was like, "Oh Lord, here we go. The emotional terrorism and the manipulation comes out," because that's exactly what that was. She's like, "I can't believe you'd make me feel that way." See, women use their emotions and our emotions against us to get what they want. That's how they manipulate us, or they use their thing between their legs to manipulate us. That's pretty much their whole game plan. If you don't take anything else out of this video, at least take this little nugget of information. Their whole game plan with men is to use their hoo-ha, na-na to manipulate us into doing what they want, or they use emotional terrorism in the form of using your emotions against you or their emotions against you to get what they want in their way. And that is manipulation. And it's so subtle, guys, and it happens all the time in our interactions with them, but most men don't see it in real time as it's happening. I am so in tune with it, I can catch them again, like I just said, as it's happening, call them out on it. And so what happened was I was like, "Oh Lord, here comes the emotional terrorism, the manipulation, God help me." And you know, I'm just joking around calling her out, and she starts laughing hysterically, and she's like, all right, I'll stop." And I was like, "Yeah, you will, because I ain't putting up with that." I just nipped it in the bud just like that. That's what a man does. A man boy would be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to offend you." You know, see, a man doesn't give a crap about offending anybody. Okay, a man doesn't police his behavior for other people. Now, that's not to say you need to go around and be disrespectful and you know, just be mean or anything like that. I'm just saying, as long as you're living, you know, honestly and nobly, and you mean well and you have good intentions, we all joke around and like to laugh. You know, as long as you're doing those things and you have good intentions, if you offend somebody, that's their problem. Okay, I don't care if I offend any of you watching this. I don't live my life to please any of you. Okay, you all are not in my life physically here. Yes, you're watching my videos. Thank you, by the way. I appreciate it. But I mean, I don't even really thank you, because I'm not even, honestly, I'm not trying to grow this channel. This is all for you all. Like, I already know this stuff. This is all for others. I want to get this information out to help you all, because I care about people. I care about other people. I know that I have good intentions. I know that I'm being my best self right now. This is this is part of me being my best self, is trying to help others and steer them in the right direction. I don't have children, and not yet anyways. Maybe one day. The reason I don't is because I have made sure that I have not accidentally ever busted inside of anybody. Okay, I've been with many women, and I don't use protection or anything like that. I pull out game is strong, man. I don't understand how that's ever an accident. I never understood how getting women pregnant has been an accident. How do you accidentally bust up inside somebody? Like, can you not feel that happening or getting ready to happen? Like, I can, and as soon as I know it's getting ready to happen, I'm out of there like grease lightning. Like, get me out. Like, no, I don't want to stick a kid in anybody right now. You know, I just deep down I knew I haven't been ready for that, but well, and I don't even know that I want that, honestly. I mean, I kind of do, but anyways, getting back to the topic. So attraction's not a choice, and men right now aren't being men, and that's why women aren't being women, because they're looking at us to lead them. Okay, and they can't follow weak men. So it puts them in a place of, okay, well, they have to be strong because men aren't. They have to be strong in order to survive. That's why I say don't necessarily disagree with the feminist movement. They have to be strong in order to survive, because most men are freaking weak. Like, they are. And they don't know how to take care of a woman's emotions, and because men aren't balanced. Like I said, when you're balanced, you're able to attract them and kind of take care of their emotions. You're able to steer their emotions a little bit better than they are, so you can guide them in life. right? And most men don't do that for women because most men can't even do it for themselves. So how are you going to teach a woman to do it if you can't do it as man? That's where men are at today. And I'm not trying to be down on you guys, but it goes so much deeper than, you know, the surface level stuff than y'all think about, that y'all are seeing on these other channels and all these influencers. And you know, it's like I said, nature is lost on men, and we need to get back to our base nature, our animalistic instinct, right? See, women have always been doing their animalistic instinct by manipulating men. That's nature, and by testing us. They have never stopped doing that. It has, but we say women have changed. No, they haven't. Yes, they've changed, but they've changed because we've changed. And so most men are blaming women, but most women are blaming men, and it's both are right, but both are wrong at the same time, because you have to understand where it's coming from. If you understand where it's coming from and why, like we're talking about, then you understand it better and you can navigate better, right? Like I can navigate women and my interactions with them better because I understand them, which means my whole goal is about self-preservation. I don't want to get played. I don't want to get manipulated. I don't want to get seduced or coerced or schemed against to do something for them. See, that's their whole goal, like I said, is to get something out of us guys. There's always an ulterior motive. Men are always providing something that they want in order for them to be attracted to us. It's that it just is the way that it is. You can't hate them for it. Why would you hate them for being women? I mean, but the same thing, women, why do you hate us for being men? Like when we do go, you know, to our natural stuff. But I understand most men aren't being natural, so I get it. But anyways, women are, you know, they're being their natural selves, and I understand where they're coming from and why they're lamenting. And guys, you gotta get your stuff together, man. You got to get your stuff together. You got to figure out where you're going in life. You got to stop relying on other people. Like if the best thing any man can do is be self-reliant. Cut out all the middlemen. Be able to do your own maintenance on everything. Take care of yourself. Take care of people around you. That includes your vehicles, your tractor, your mower, your house. All that stuff. Again, within reason, we're always learning, but that's what I'm saying is men need to focus on always building themselves. See, women, they don't need to build themselves. They're perfect being born. They lose value as they get older. Men, we have to build our value as we get older. So it's always like men go up, women go down, or yeah. So you know what I'm trying to say. I messed that all up. So men, we have to constantly be willing to learn and build, and we can't just be stagnant in life. We have to focus on moving forward and learning. So hopefully some of you guys consume this information and take it to heart. That's what I'm putting it out there for. I want more men to be men. I want society to be better. But part of being men isn't allowing other men to control us either. See, that's another thing. See, women have manipulated men into controlling other men for society's betterment and safety, and that's wrong. Okay, I think our system that we're in, our laws, our law enforcement, all of that stuff is so extremely outdated and needs such a big overhaul. Law enforcement is nothing but henchmen for the elite that make the laws. Yes, I just said that. And I don't care if you're a law enforcement, I don't care if it pisses you off. That is the truth. You are a henchman for insidious, selfish, insecure men. Absolutely you are. Because secure men don't need to control other men, right? I don't need to control anybody. I'm secure as F about who I am. I know where I'm at. I know I don't mean anybody harm. I know I'm not plotting or scheming against anybody. I'm living my natural best life, and I'm self-reliant, and I'm making my own way. I'm forging my own path. I try to take care of myself. I try to take care of others around me that I care about. And that's what being a man is all about. And most of you guys, a lot of you guys watching this, really, you have no idea what it is to be a man. You think you do, but hopefully this is giving you some insight into bettering yourself. You know, like I said, it's not a knock on anybody, but you know, I want men to be better, man. Like, but at the same time, it's not up to me, and I really don't care either way if you choose to be better or not, because, well, if you started being better, then I'm gonna have more competition with the ladies. So, you know, but I like it that most men aren't men right now, because it sets me apart like that. Like, I talk to women, they talk to me about and tell me all the time, they're like, dude, you are not like most men. Like, you've got this stuff figured out. You have got life figured out. You've got yourself figured out. You've got us figured out as women. Like, I know. They tell me all the time in real life. So I know what I'm talking about. It's taken me a long time to figure all this out, but you know, I have. And so I just want to share the information to help the people that want to learn. You know, I can't make you be better. You know, I can give you the information. It's like I can lead a horse to water, but I can't make it drink the water, right? Same thing with this. And people are only ready to hear this information when they're only willing to hear it until they're ready, unless they're ready. And so hopefully you guys are ready. If not, well, it is what it is. But anyways, leave a comment in the comment section below. I care about every single one of you. I hope you're doing well in life and you're thriving, not just surviving, thriving. I want men to thrive in life. And I know a lot of people are suffering right now. So, men, you know, you've got to get yourselves in order, okay? Spiritually, okay? It all starts from there. Spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. You got to get those four things taken care of, man, and be balanced and centered, right? Not far this way, not far that way, not far this way, not far this way. Centered, okay? Centered. That is where life is all about balance, yin and yang, right? Centered, balanced. That's what life's about. The Chinese have it all figured out, man. The Asian cultures, they've got life figured out more than we do in Western culture, absolutely. Christianity has been hijacked and indoctrinated, unfortunately, to get people to go against our nature as well. And it has meant well in the past when it started, but it has been manipulated by weak men that have been manipulated by women, and so it's been feminized. So anyways, like I said, we can talk about that in another video, or you know, whatever you guys want to talk about this stuff. If you want to talk about something specific and be more on topic about something, let me know. I'm more than willing to dive in. I've got tons of nuggets of information. My clients tell me all the time, dude, you got to do this. So here I am. Like I said, I'm Dr. Drew. Obviously, I'm not a doctor. I love helping people. Spoof that my ex-girlfriend gave me a long time ago. So, anyways, love you guys. I hope you're all well and thriving, not just surviving, but thriving. And I will talk to you again the next time. All right, thanks.